Hi guys, John with you again, and this is update number 4 on the Tiger 1 Ausf E German heavy tank early production from Zvezda in 135 scale. And if you've been watching the last one, I had just finished the chipping on the tank, and I had a few more little bits and pieces to do there with that, and then go on to the tracks. Well, I'd say 80% done the tank part. Um, After I put on the decals, weathered them, give it a pin wash, good heavy sludge wash. Um, the, I'm starting on the rusting now on that, the back of that. Still a bit bright. I just have to just darken it in patches and things. So I'm not finished with the rusting in that yet. Same with the rusting on other little areas. I have the rust washed down, so I gotta clean off areas that I don't want it and stuff. So that's nearly finished. Like I said, it's 80%, but so far so good as far as I'm concerned. I love the way the paint is kind of rippled and things in areas. It's so natural. It's fabulous. Um, there she is from the front. That big York pointing at you. From the top, it's a nice, that hairspray method gives a lovely worn effect, and the sludge wash then kind of just dirtied up the paint. It was brilliant, absolutely fabulous. Um, there along the side, and on the engine deck, I put a bit of engine grime and stuff around there, so that kind of starting to look pretty good in my opinion. And again, I've and the escape hatch. So that's just now waiting for the tracks to be done, which I started just a little while ago. Um, the tracks themselves, let's check out the instructions. Well, that's waiting out there. Right, you start off, you've loaded little sub-assemblies because the tracks come in, they're not sort of individual link tracks, they're sort of section and then indie. So it's a bit of both really. You've got long sections, shorter sections and things, and you've got to bend them around various areas, make little forms, and then start sticking it all together. I don't think I'll follow that way of doing it. I have a way in mind that will work for me. So I'll. It's basically the same thing. You're still putting the tracks on in the same place. It's just how I go about it. The tracks themselves. This is how they come. This is the track sprue. They're quite nicely moulded, and the guide horns are separate. But at least when it comes to the long pieces, the guide horns are in long pieces. So, but for the short ones, there's two guide horns for each. They are quite fiddly. Um, I've done a couple just for starting. We'll just sort of zoom in here on this. I mean, we'll have a look. Right, there's one section of track. That's the longest one now. Is the guide horns on long separate pieces, and they go into a groove. Now, once they're cleaned off, they just slide into that groove so easy. To me, extra thin, it just follows the capillary action of the tube, and it goes down along, very easy, and they fit on, and there's no fit issues, no nothing. Cleanup wise, I'll just show you on this one. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. nine connection points along the bottom. Now, along the bottom of that has to be perfectly smooth. Otherwise, when you put them into the thing, one is going to be up. It's not going to sit in properly. It's not going to sit down into the seat, whatever track, whatever you want to call it. So there's nine of them, and like I said in my previous video, the Zvezda plastic is very, very soft. So when you're cleaning them off, you have to be very, very careful. One of the ones on the inside of, it's either that one or that one, I can't remember which one. I I was just cleaning it off with the old hobby knife, and it just just went that slight little bit too deep and cut into it. Luckily enough, it wasn't a single one, which would have been much more devastating. Um, but I think it's around there, and it's actually slightly cut. But hopefully I got away with it anyway. And these most of this, it won't even be bloody well seen, which is great. Although that is along the outside, so you will get to see bits of it. So that's one of the long ones. You get shorter ones, which is basically the same thing. Now they're very, very hard to clean off, and because the plastic is so soft, I'm afraid sometimes to clean them, to go overboard on them. So I'm using the UMP uh, thinny sticks, and they're working quite well. And to get that one off, what I decided to do was, every time I tried to sand it and clean it, when it was on the long skinny thing, it kept I couldn't hold it properly. It was going to break on me. So what I decided to do was glue it into place. When it's set, sand it from there. And yeah, that'll do. Better than the spike that was on it. It's a bit of a flattening, but these things happen. And then we've got the single ones. The one which just got the two little guide horns. And it was the same idea on this. I just said I'd leave the top cleaning off last little bit to that. Now, good sprue cutters, I suppose, would be essential in this. And the one I have, I must say, I'm very, very impressed with. Cost me €15, which is, I suppose, cheap when you consider the price of the Tamiya ones and stuff. That's it. It's Privateer Press Formula P3. It's the only markings that are on it. It's made in the USA, and it really, really good. You can go right up to the edge of the plastic. Now, I've had this for some time, and I've kind of abused it a bit. I've been using it on wire and everything. And I'm lucky enough that my local hobby shop sells them. And I'm definitely going to buy another one. Now, as you can see, I've used that for wire and stuff. So I've kind of damaged the edges of it. But it still works. It still does the job. So when I get another one, what I'll do is I'll use this then for bits of wire and the things that I shouldn't have been using this one on, and keep the other one just purely for the sprues. But when this was new, I could go literally right up to the plastic, click it off, and 9 times out of 10 there wasn't even something to send off. That's how good those ones are. So I'll show you again. It's Privateer Press Formula P3. Like I said, my local hobby shop where I buy these things is more of a kind of a games place. They do a lot of bolt action stuff, and it's the Citadel ranges of paints and things. So, and they do Army Painter. So any place that does those things, I presume they probably have them as well, and they're reasonably priced. So anyway, that's my update. Let you know when on to the next stage, the track, finishing off the tracks. There's just loads to do with the track. Still fiddling around with that, but and I still have a little bit more fiddling to do with this as well. Let's zoom back out again now, John. Right, just a little bit more fiddling to do with this as well. Just a bit of touch-ups here and there, you know. Rust is too orangey. Little things like that. I'll just tidy it up. And usually what I do is I have it sitting there on its twirly gig while I'm working, and I'll spot something. I say, oh yeah, it needs that. It just needs that. And I find as well when I do a video and I look back in the video on a bigger screen, it gives me a better view of it as well. So I'll often spot things that I hadn't painted. Like in the last video on the when I did the sludge wash, I had all the cables painted and I had all the details painted, but I hadn't painted that cable. So you know, little things like that. You'll spot them in the video. What should I say? I spot them in the video after I do them. So sometimes when I finally do a final reveal, I spot one tiny little thing, and I fix that. And it's pointless sort of, you know, redoing the whole video just to show that one little thing. Some people do it. I don't. I'm a bit lazy when it comes to things like that. So anyway, that's my update. I'll leave you with that, and catch you up in the next one. Don't forget, build something, lads. Talk to you later.